Well, good afternoon and a very warm welcome to this Remembrance Sunday coverage of a match in the deep southwest to Penzance and Newlyn RFC and to the conclusion of round 8 of this weekend's Greene King IPA Championship games as we turn our attention to today's matchup between 9th placed Cornish Pirates and 7th placed Hartpury RFC. Great to have your company with us. My name's Nick Keith. After a solid day of drizzle yesterday, well, we brought the sunshine. Although we have brought the wind as well, as you can see. But you'll be pleased to know that we've also brought, well, an expert summariser with us. Because down here at the Menet, well, we've got a man who made his mark with England, Newcastle Falcons and Toulon, to name just a few. Well, Tom May, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm not so bad, not too bad. Fairly drafty, but I'm all right.
It is a little bit. How was the drive down? It's a nice part of the world to be in, isn't it?
It's an amazing part of the world to be in. I left after the England game yesterday and managed to get down here early last night, and it hammered it down all the way. But I've been told by the locals that actually it wasn't too bad down here, and the pitch has held up quite well.
Okay, good. What experience did you have playing down here? And was it the London Welsh days you might have made a visit?
Yeah, I played down here once with London Welsh, and a fairly similar day to today actually. It was fairly damp, tacky underfoot. It's quite difficult to get going at times, but you know these grounds are fantastic to play at. Real traditional grounds. It's something that the Championship adds.
Yeah, okay, well, before we get on to focusing on today's game, of course, there was plenty of action last weekend in round 7, so let's have a quick look at the try-lights from round 7 of the Greene King IPA Championship. So those are the results from round 7, but of course, well, this is the last round, the last game in round 8, so we can actually have a look at, well, the rest of the weekend's results so far. You can see there, well, the Ealing Trailfinders result towards the bottom there, in second in the table, scoring 5 tries against Yorkshire Carnegie to keep the pressure on Bristol, who thumped Rotherham 55 points to 10, as you can see. Third v fourth saw Bedford leapfrog Nottingham, nearly 3,000 packed into Goldington Road as the Blues picked up all 5 points, a great result for them. Jersey, well, they played host to London Scottish. They picked up just their 3rd win of the campaign to leave Scottish in 11th. And Richmond beating Doncaster Knights by 26 points to 22. It was a close battle at the Athletic Ground. Richmond picking up a 4th home win, while Donny crucially took 2 bonus points back to Castle Park. So that's how the Greene King IPA Championship is looking as we come into today's game. And that's how it's had an effect on the table. So as you can see, it's, well, 9th place Cornish Pirates against 7th place Hartpury in terms of our game. Bristol up there, but Tom May key for Ealing Trailfinders to be keeping up that pressure on Bristol Rugby at the top. Yeah, definitely. I think they've performed well this year. You know, they've obviously lost Duratalo during the season, which will be big for them. But to keep the momentum up that they started this season with is really important, because you know, everyone's money's on Bristol, but I think, you know, they've got 1 or 2 tricks up their sleeve that is really important that Ealing and potentially Bedford can catch those 2 as well, I think. But applying the pressure to Bristol is key. So let's have a look at the results for Cornish Pirates then as the season has gone on. 2 wins, 9 bonus points. That's the most of anybody in the league. That's quite impressive, isn't it? The 3-match winning streak, including that British and Irish Cup win where they beat Hartpury, which you know has got them on a decent streak. But we can see the results there. You know, early form losses, but a mixed bag and coming good through the cup. Yeah, and I think that's been frustrating for Gavin Cattle, isn't it? It's clearly, you know, obviously there's been a lot of teams that have beaten Rotherham, but fairly disappointing set of results from the Pirates, who over the past couple of years have done particularly well, I think. This is a difficult place to come, though, and you know, they'll really want to try and get another win on the board today against Hartpury. And here are the Hartpury results. A couple of wins against the Knights, and of course that narrow win against London Scottish last week, just by those 2 points, but they'll be mightily delighted with that. And for a team that won 30 games out of 30 in National League One, well, they've come up with all of that ability and are showing it in the Championship. Definitely, and look, hey, look, it was really close between Hartpury and Bristol. And also the results against Yorkshire, and certainly winning away at London Scottish, they stand out for me. You know, this side, you know, it's very easy to knock a side that come up into the Championship, but they've done particularly well. They're willing to run, they're willing to play, and I think that makes them an exciting prospect to watch. Okay, well, plenty of tries scored by both sides, of course. I know that it's something that the Hartpury side are looking to do a little bit more of. Cornish Pirates with some decent results, and well, this was them getting over the line against Doncaster last week. Yeah, and against Doncaster last week, Alex Day at 9 was really key for them. He's sharp around the breakdown. He's good at pulling defenders out and using that ball into space. And we can see that, you know, picking and going, those short lines in and around the breakdown were key for them, allowing them to get the space out wide. Again, Alex Day involved. That inside ball there is brilliant. They want to attack, don't they? You know, yeah. They want to have a go, which I think is great to see. They just want to sort of grind teams down. It's just a bit of a lack of accuracy, I think, over this season that's let themselves down. Yeah, certainly enjoyed themselves against Donny last week. And that is an interception. If there's one bloke, you don't want to catch it, hit his hip. Look, the pace to pick up and get away there is brilliant. Outstanding. Hopefully we'll see a couple more runs like that today. And then Hartpury against London Scottish. Weren't quite as many showboating moments, but well, that was a nice break. Yeah, and they're not shy of saying that they want to play, are they? You know, they're quite happy to come out and say, look, we want to score tries, we want to attack teams. I was having a chat to one of the S&C coaches that I know from my playing days, and you know, he said we work these boys pretty hard, try and get them as fit as they can, so that they can really try and tire some of the sides out, and that's what they've done. Well, the sun is shining. There's a couple of clouds just above us. The wind is sort of coming down this way, and well, the flags are just sort of blowing this way. So it might be a little bit left to right that the wind is going to play a part. That's going to be something that the coaches have to negotiate. It's something that I couldn't resist talking to them about as well. So let's hear how they're feeling ahead of kickoff. First of all, with Hartpury's Mark Cornwell. Well, Mark Cornwell, the wind is blowing a fair gale. How's that going to make things this afternoon?
Well, we're looking at the weather forecast. We anticipate it would be really windy, but this is a stiff, cool breeze, to say the least, and it's blowing directly into that bottom corner down there, so I'm sure it will have an impact on the game in some way or shape or form, but hopefully we've got to make it positive for us.
Yeah, I understand you guys drove down, stayed in Redrick last night. Is this as close as Cornwall gets to a local derby?
As I said, I think it's close, as close to local derby that they're going to get. I mean, we've got a few obviously closer places to play, but 4-hour drive. I mean, I wouldn't want to, use that as a local derby every time. But it is a fair track.
Yeah, it certainly is. What can we expect from Hartpury this afternoon? What do you want to see from your team?
Well, I just want to see us perform a little bit better with ball in hand. Over the last few weeks, we've been strong defensively. We show a lot of character and a lot of endeavour to stay in games, and the London Scottish results showed that. But we didn't actually put the phases together and put pressure on the ball in hands. We've worked a lot on that over the last few weeks and tried to work on our shape and trying to score some tries and keep the ball.
Yeah, I've heard you mention that during the week you're expecting the Pirates to throw the ball around a little bit, but the conditions may play a part in that as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I've watched the last 3 or 4 games of the Pirates, and they've scored some points. Away at Doncaster they scored 40 points, and here Rotherham 60 points. So they can score tries. I'm sure they've been working on the opposite rather than stop conceding points. So it should be an entertaining game based on the way that both sides intend to play, shall we say. They
got one over on you in the British and Irish Cup. Is that provided any motivation for the boys to come and do a job on them today?
We rested a few obviously for that game, and so did Pirates, but it's given me something to look at and something to work on for this game, but as I say, we're looking forward to it. It should be a good game, and hopefully it'll stay dry.
Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Well, Gavin Cattle, it's going to be an interesting one, this one. The wind likely to play a part. How are you feeling about your Cornish Pirates, boys?
Well, we're sort of used to this down here, so again, it is difficult to manage. It'll be interesting. The toss will be a big one as well, whether which team decides to take the win first, whether it'll blow itself out, because it can do that. But yeah, we've been focused on our exits this week, so yeah, we're prepped for this.
Pirates have been doing a pretty good job of picking up bonus points, not necessarily wins. It's got you a comfortable enough position in the table, but I'm sure you'd prefer the W's to go along with it.
Of course, yeah, winning matters. What I would say is, though, same with Hartpury, really. There's been a lot of close games that they've come, the other side of, but yeah, the spirit we've shown in them games, to get them points and keep going to the end has been there, which has been the pleasing thing. Doncaster was obviously a more complete performance for us, so we're just looking to build on that.
And accuracy seems to be something that you were talking about during the week.
Yes, it is. Yeah, well, you're obviously going to want to be as accurate as you can be, and controlling the ball in these conditions is going to be really important today.
And what about Hartpury? What do you make of them on their visit down here?
Well, you look at them, and a lot of people have been shocked by the performance, but we haven't. They come up, convincing winners of Nat 1 and taking that momentum and sort of brought in some experience in the pack as well. So, we've got to have to sort of not just compete at set piece, but get up the upper hand there, because that's a big strength of theirs.
Yeah, they've got a bit of up-front grunt, as you say, some experience in that front row in particular. So how important is getting that set piece and the front foot, given playing either into the window or with it behind you?
Yeah, I think whoever get control there will go a long way to getting the results. So we've put a big focus on there as we do every week, and hopefully our plan is in place and we'll be successful.
Wish you the best of luck.
Cheers, thank you.
So let's have a look at the teams for today then. Cornish Pirates matchday squad. Well, it features 7 Cornwall-bred men, 4 in the starting 15. Tom Cowan, Dickey, Jack Andrew, Toby Freeman, and try machine this season, Kyle Moyle. Gavin Cattle's made 2 changes from his side that beat Doncaster, with Bukaboom and Costa picking up knocks. Argentinian Sevens man Nick Coronel comes into the centre for his first start, with Alex Cheeseman onto the flank, allowing Josh Caulfield to move back into the second row alongside Freeman, and Tom Lauday skippers the side, with Cargill continuing at fly half ahead of Lawrence May. And let's have a look at Hartpury. Head coach Mark Cornwell's made 2 changes, bringing in Ed Coulson for his first Greene King IPA Championship start, having scored against the Pirates in the recent British and Irish Cup match. Harry Cochrane at scrum half. The other change with Harry Randall injured, and Rhys Oakley captains from the second row, with that wise duo of ex-Gloucester props up front in Dan Murphy and Rupert Harden. So we'll have a look at the benches in just a moment, but of course it is Remembrance Sunday and a chance for us to pay our respects to our fallen comrades of years gone past. So an impeccable minute's silence, as you would expect. And let's just run you through the replacements for this one then. The benches, well, Lawrence May, proven points machine for the Pirates with 77 to his name so far this season. And it would be quite the moment if Alan Paver gets on. 355 appearances so far. It beggars belief. And, well, for Hartpury, a fair amount of youth on the bench. But James Williams knows how to find the try line if he gets on, scoring 4 tries so far in the league, the former Moseley man. So we're just about ready to get underway. Our referee is Matthew O'Grady, in charge of this one, assisted by Simon Adams and Nick Marshall. And it's going to be Pirates who get us underway. And they're going to kick it, I think, what is going to be largely into the wind for this 40 minutes. And Tom May, that, well, an interesting decision. They certainly want the wind behind them second half. Yeah,
it's pretty difficult to work out which way it's going from, to be honest, but that is going to be key in terms of clearances. You can see how far Alex Day's hit that. It's a full length of the field from his 22. He doesn't need to put too much into it, so you have to be really careful as a halfback in terms of how you're going to exit out of your own 22, your own third. Really important to get those periods of play right.
And cleared away by Cargill.
Advantage, no arms, number 5.
Just trying to build a bit of momentum through the middle here. They come a little wider. Coming back round the corner now, it's in the hands of Laverick. Just pops it up to the right, Alex O'Meara. Over the 22. This is a decent head of steam already from the Pirates. And they just grab an extra couple of metres away from Day again. Referee happy to let play go on. Cargill. Carl Moore will be loitering on that left-hand wing, but it's a turnover. Even in the pass, you can see the wind playing a part there, just picking that one up and throwing it back, but it's a decent little run from Mike Wilcox up to the edge of the 22. They're going to think about the exit here. Well, no, they've come straight through the 22, and the support on the shoulder was there from Cochrane. And Hartpury showing a little bit of adventure. It is Barbarian season, of course, the time to be running it from your 22, but Clearance kick just wasn't quite accurate enough.
Got some numbers on the right here. If they can keep holding the ball, get that ball away. Turn it over.
You've got the ball, let's play on.
Yeah, just at the point that it would have been key quick ball, is referee O'Grady going to have to blow the whistle here? Well, in fact, he's gone with the penalty here, not releasing from Hartpury.
Holding on. Reece,
this could be a first chance of points for the home side.
It's clearly difficult for Hartpury in terms of their kicking game. They definitely would have spoken about in the changing room, getting players back to their feet. You have to work so hard into the wind. You can't just back one of your half-backs or one of your better kickers to get you into the right positions. You have to work so hard to get back onto your feet, back into play. But certainly creating some momentum around there. Cornish Pirates will have to be aware about that in and around the breakdowns.
Stroke of the ball, he's read the wind right. Flags go up and Will Cargill has got the Pirates onto the scoreboard.
It's going to be difficult for Hartpury. They have to be so careful about their discipline in their final. Just anywhere inside their own 10-metre line, really, with this wind.
As
long as you can get a good strike on it, right direction, it's going to sail through.
Well, the direction's going to be the key part of that, isn't it? Hartpury through Perry. With that restart.
It's still in.
Oh, it was a decent enough clearance, but in fact he was outside the 22. Well, there might be worrying moments here for Daryl Dyer. Sorry, for Tom Lauday, in fact, it is.
Not sure what happened there.
Time's off.
Certainly ended up in a heat, though.
Seemed fairly innocuous.
Alex Day's got to be so careful, though. That's two kicks now. He's better off just going short, let the wind take it, as opposed to really trying to put his foot through it.
So when you're a guard,
he's almost gone too hard at both kicks.
You're not bound on fully, so you've got to be behind the ball. Okay.
Bit of adrenaline probably in the system as well, just leading to a little bit of overcooking of it. But just got this momentary stop as Lauday gets a bit of attention. Dual registered with Exeter Chiefs Tom Lauday, the Pirates skipper. Spent a couple of years playing his rugby in Wellington in New Zealand, but it seems that they're just working that knee joint a little bit.
Your line out.
Seems to be easy. It's not really comfortable, does it?
There was a fair old limp, wasn't there, to begin with? It's whether they feel that
Front lifter,
there's anything that needs a bit more attention, or whether his day is done.
Have you asked them what they're going to do? I don't
With
know.
less than 5 minutes on the clock.
I'll give, look, they're not. If they go quick, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Just make sure you do try and cut us.
Can we talk to numbers, please, lads?
We promise you're not going to have enough time, so just try and.
He only played a couple of minutes.
The safest place to be.
I tell you what, you wouldn't want lying down for too long in this wind.
Okay,
No.
let's go then, please.
You get blown away.
Yeah, let's go, please. Come on.
Used to being in this commentary position where the wind comes straight in off the sea, but it's a northerly coming down.
So it feels like it's coming from behind us, but then
guys,
you can tell from the kick from
putting time on
Alex
now.
Day, it's almost
time's on.
diagonal, I guess.
Sort of playing down into that corner down to the far left, over the right of your picture, basically.
Line it over.
But we carry on, and Lauday carries on as well, most crucially for the Pirates. They wouldn't want to lose their skipper too early, and Hartpury just making a few extra inches.
Leave him. That's one.
Are they going to release with Cochrane? Cochrane looks to try and pull it back deep for Perry. Perry's thrown the long pass for Wilcox. Wilcox with a little step back inside, but he's only now met by well, two of the Pirates midfield, Pete Laverick and Will Cargill, combining well, trying to hold him up there. And then, well, as Cochrane's just tried to go around the fringes, he's just nudged it forwards, and it might be decent turnover ball for the Pirates, who've got a few numbers there. If they can straighten and draw in the Hartpury defence, which they do, up to the 22. It's a decent carry from Jack Andrew, who joined in 2013 from Plymouth, of course, as older brother Paul spent a year with Worcester Warriors. Then they come round the left again, and Hartpury looking to put the tackles in, put the bodies on the line, and stop Pirates getting out of their 22.
Inside.
Box kick comes up. Is that one going to find touch? No. So it's thrown back in field. Good hands from Wilcox to take the high ball and spots an opportunity, but he's well tracked by the Pirates defence, and they go back to the right-hand side again. Ed Coulson on his first start scored against the Pirates in that British and Irish Cup game that Hartpury ended up going on to lose. Loud blast from the referee, and it's a penalty to Hartpury.
That's a better kick from Alex Day. Really, if he knows that he's got a kick chase like Cornish Pirates had there, there's no reason to go long. Fantastic kick chase, both from the midfield and the wingers. Laverick and Coronel.
Would have been playing the scrum half off the ball.
So Mira up really fast, shutting down that potential counter-attack.
And with the wind high as well, I mean, with the wind as it is, it makes it difficult if actually you can make it higher rather than longer for the kick receivers, doesn't it?
It almost sits up a bit, doesn't it? I guess from our commentary position, the pitch doesn't actually look that bad, but actually when you've both been on it this morning, Nick, and it's fairly tacky, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Not exactly the type of surface that both sides would want to be trying to put their game plan into action on.
Good win at the line from Dyer. Quick on-rushing defence from O'Meara. Nearly got himself caught out. If Bolton could have got that ball away, he wasn't able to. And Cochrane's just surveying both sides. Just slows it down a little bit to find Harden. Decent man if you want just to find that extra little 6 inches, little foot along the floor, Harden. And plenty of that for Gloucester in his time. Joe Quinn then lays it back. Now it's once again with the Hartpury fly half onto George Bolton again. Came off the bench in that first championship win against Rotherham in September. Enjoying playing here at the Pirates. That's a good tackle on Tanner, but he's held up to the pressure well, the former Bath man. And now we're away again. Perry looking to try and find a bit of room, and Pete Laverick ended up slipping as he went into the tackle there, which nearly created a bit of room for Eves, and they just hold the pass up for a moment, and it allows Dan Murphy to get through, but the ball just deemed to have gone forwards from referee O'Grady, and Dan Murphy was relishing that chance to scamper up the line.
He was. And after some of the passes we've seen over the last 24 hours, you'd probably let that one go. But
you referring to a certain Semesa Rockadanguni, right, Twickenham?
Couldn't believe my eyes when I saw that.
Hands went backwards, Tom. Hands went backwards.
Okay, guys, let's go.
Yeah, they're keen to try and create these 3-on-2s. Both sides down these wider channels. They have the opportunity to do that.
I'll go right now.
Both sides got big runners in the midfield in Coronel and Eves, but also some pace with Bolton and Laverick.
Steady, boys. Steady.
Crouch.
Yes.
Binds.
We don't want pre, boys. We don't want pre.
We can't be pre-engaged, both teams. Both teams, we can't be pre-engaged.
Let's go keep them come out as Kabili, see where we are.
Referee just having a little word with the front rows, just wants to get this one reset.
If they want to go lean, boys, we stay patient. Let's go.
You can just see as this scrum is right down below us, we can see a few little areas where the turf has just kind of cut straight up. So it might succumb to a bit of pressure from pack weights.
Some weight, boys.
Crouch.
Referee won't want to spend all day resetting these scrums, and certainly for all of you watching at home, we don't hope that we're succumb to that too much. Ball's in from Day. Now he's breaking off the back, waiting for Lauday to pick. Lauday has a look at him. Now takes the ball. He's under enough pressure from Cochrane, but Lauday's done well. O'Meara's going to have to go in and help a bit, and now it's available for Alex Day, who finds Caulfield. Thumps it up over the 10-metre line. Day through Cargill. Laverick. Back again from Day. Billy Keast. It was a late change, Keast. Marlon Walker was meant to be starting this one, but he's a little bit under the weather for this one, so, well, he's on the bench at least.
Yes, play the ball first, man.
I don't quite understand that.
I was waiting for you to have your say on that one, Tom, mate. Now it's with Wilcox. Throws the
numbers.
Long pass over the top. Now they need to straighten here, and Alex Cheeseman with the tackle.
No 12!
Dyer. Option of a shorter ball. There's Jacob Perry going. Just sets that little ball back for Bolton.
First man!
Well, Jacob Perry was, Harry Cochrane was taken out as he tried to come into that
Just
ruck.
over there, but this man held on to it.
The penalties ended up going to the Pirates, but probably largely because there wasn't a scrum half to get that ball away who was knocked over by Rupert Cooper.
It was quite cute from Cooper because they were just behind the referee, so he almost didn't see it, but one or two phases before, clear opportunity for Luke East to give that 3-on-2. Probably just took it into contact.
Hartpury on the line.
Would have been far easier just to ship it to the winger, try and make a few more yards upfield.
Decent quick ball for Pirates off the top of the line out. Good platform here, right in the centre. Day finds Cheeseman. Former centre turned back rower Alex Cheeseman. And then Day on the run around, and then it's a nice little run through from Cooper, who came round the corner and found a hole. Was just tackled before he could get the offload away. Pirates again in for Caulfield.
Offside.
Young man, 6'4". Was dual registered with Chiefs last season. Now it comes again through Cargill.
Carry.
There's nobody there immediately. It needed to get out quickly. O'Meara is beginning to put a bit of pace on it and looking to send Coronel through the gap. They're getting ever closer here, the Pirates. Moyle. That ball was, well, initially meant for Cooper, but it was nicely picked up behind him. They're quite narrow here, the Pirates. Turnover ball here would be, well, very valuable for Hartpury if they could get it. They've got no one really wider than the outside of the second post, but they're not worrying too much about that. They're going route one and they get the try. Try is scored. Was it Jack Andrew in there in the end?
Offside. Tackle off the ball, and number 6 offside.
It
might be Tom Cowan-Dickey.
Yeah, I think so. And actually, some really big carries in there from the Cornish Pirates. But Hartpury, really, their defensive setup was all over their shop. They were trying to defend the spaces out wide when they didn't even have any attackers opposite them. You have to be really sharp and aware as to where the attack and where the threat is coming from. And they missed that.
I was slightly curious that they were all waiting so wide.
Just here, need to get really low in these areas. So difficult to stop.
Tom Cowan-Dickey with the first score. Cargill, no problem with the conversion. Adds to his 3 points earlier on. And the Cornish Pirates now with a 10 points to nil lead.
Yeah, a good start from the home side. Exactly what they would have wanted.
Yeah, time's off.
As I mentioned pre-game, massive opportunity for them to try and move forward.
Good low body position from Cowan-Dickey just to grind that one over. So Perry goes well where he has for most of his restarts from the kickoff at the beginning of the game. Top point scorer last season, Jacob Perry, enjoying his first season in the Championship.
He's outside.
32 points so far this season.
Another good kick. Look at the kick chase. Fantastic.
Yeah, there's a real Cornish line here for Dyer to try and get through, and he's not able to get through it.
Ball's there. Yeah,
could be a penalty here if Pirates aren't careful, though, getting themselves on the wrong side. Now, Hartpury do get the penalty.
Great kick chase. Really, Hartpury only had one option, and that was to carry there. Didn't even have time. Darryl Dye had to ship that on. Bit of a high shot and an opportunity for Perry to hit his side upfield. I tell you what, kicking in this wind is difficult.
Certainly
no matter where you're shooting to or how you're trying to kick. As we just see a replay, it was Eves just too wide out. Even doesn't matter what number you got on your back, you have to cover those spaces, have to get involved close to the breakdown if that's what's required.
So they go for 5-man line out. Dyer takes it. They've got options now in midfield as Cornish Pirates come flooding through, and in fact it's just been knocked forwards at the base there, so Pirates have the advantage, and now they break with it. Oh, and it's barely anybody at home currently. It's with Day. Tackle was just made by Wilcox. It needed to be, but they're flooding through on the right-hand side now. Here come the Pirates up the middle through Lauday. Quick ball for Andrew to play out towards the back line. It just stutters and starts for a moment as Laverick eventually takes it down. Now it's back in from Day, onto Andrew once more. Tackling in there is Rupert Harden, then the ball is available. A little closer one, a buffeting tackle on the try scorer, Cowan Dickey. There are shouts coming on the shoulder of Cargill, that time from Coronel. Now Laverick's looking outside on the right here as Carl Moyle has come across from the left wing. Omar is in there to try and help him, but have Hartpury got themselves in a decent position to turn that round? I think there was an initial attempt on the ball. They then got off their feet, and then he's actually playing it on the floor, and the referee quite rightly gives the penalty to the Pirates after that.
Not in a legal position.
Great initial line break and some good phases there for the Pirates. Just lost their way slightly, didn't they?
Off feet.
A few players getting themselves either a bit too flat, just too close to the original ball carrier.
Are we going to see more of the same from the Pirates? They're a little bit closer in this time. Last time it was quick ball off the top. Well, the forward's going to fancy anything different this time. All Dyer's nearly managed to wrestle it away there for Hartpury.
He has he not?
He's certainly got an arm to it, and Hartpury have it. Really good work from the defensive number 8. Then O'Meara goes up to take the kick. The chase was solid from Sheldon, and now it's a little bit loose, and can Hartpury take advantage of it? Two players go down on the ball. It was knocked forwards on the ground by the Pirates. It'll be a scrum to Hartpury, and from a defensive line out on their own line to a scrum near the halfway. That's a decent turnaround for them, but just off the ball. Alex O'Meara's just getting a bit of attention.
The ball wasn't clear for me. Can you go over here?
Fantastic.
We'll find some clean grass over here.
Opportunity for Hartpury to get up the field. Some real top work there from Langley.
Just don't creep up. Just
you can hear how hard people are blowing.
You told me you came up onto the front row. It's just only back, man. Yeah.
Not a huge amount of kicking out of hand from the 10s in open play, trying to find territory. It's all a case of both teams getting back to their feet.
There's a little look at how strong the wind is. Those aren't napkins up there. Referee has decided that we are going to stop for Alex O'Meara. I thought he was happy enough to play the scrum, given the wing wasn't going to play much part in it, but he's had a bit of sympathy. He's going to allow the Pirates to get up to their full complement, given they will be defending this Hartpury scrum.
Hartpury just have to stop the Pirates getting on the front foot at the moment. It's far too easy for those big ball carriers to get over the gain line. Lauday's been brilliant. Some of those other forwards really starting to come to the fore. Alex Day just happy to just pop the ball up to them. Cutting some good lines, putting those Hartpury defenders under real pressure. Trying to make some more offensive tackles. That's the key. Just there. For the visitors right now.
Twos! Yeah. Yes, Steve. Twos! Go low.
Crouch!
Yes. Two!
Yes. Binds! Set!
Cochrane waits. 22-year-old scrum half. And there's a free kick. Pirates engaging too early. And Cochrane takes the quick tap and away they go. Through Perry. They're looking for a little bit of room out wide here, and it could go through the hands. In the hands of Wilcox. Up over the 10-metre line. Good run from Coulson in support. Now it's back. Cochrane.
Keep going the same way. There's forwards out on the whip here.
Off to the right again. Wilcox just trying to dance his way round. Kyle Moyle in there making the tackle.
Just knocked on.
Ball's just been knocked on. There's a few little handling errors just creeping in around those little breakdown scenarios. A little bit more accuracy required. Already some long shadows on the pitch for the late afternoon November sunshine. Don't forget you can keep in touch with us if you're watching the game. Let us know your thoughts through Twitter, #ChampRugby. And also, well, I know many of you tuning in via the official England Rugby Facebook page. Let us know where you're tuning in there, where you are watching from, who you're cheering on, and perhaps how you expect this one to go. 10-0, of course, to the Cornish Pirates already in the first quarter of the game. Try coming from Tom Cowan-Dickey. 5 points from the boot of Will Cargill as well. Recently passing 50 club appearances.
Crouch! Yes.
Hartpury just beginning to find a little bit more fluidity though. They've defended another spell, but what can they do from this position? Off the last scrum, they made a good 30 metres. Scrum's going to get reset.
I can't reward you if you come up.
Fairly equal at the moment in the scrum there.
We'll go there.
Two experienced props for Hartpury.
You could hear the referee talking to Dan Murphy there and saying, I can't reward you if you're go forward, if you're going to come up, which shows that there was some pressure coming back at them from the Pirates, but yeah, Murphy and Harden alongside Tanner, the hooker in the middle. Well, there's a bit of experience there through Gloucester, former Gloucester teammates, of course, Murphy and Harden. Decent bit of nous up front from those boys.
Crouch!
Interesting way they've set up from an attack perspective.
Set!
Coulson on that far side is no threat at all. Unless they go down there. The winger couldn't come across and defend anyway, so he might as well come and be a threat.
Well, there's a penalty advantage being played now, so Hartpury have got a bit of a shot here, albeit a fair way out. Well, in fact, he said I think it's just a scrum. It's a scrum penalty, he says. I thought he was saying it was a scrum advantage, but it was a scrum penalty. So we'll come back for it. Now this probably a perfect location to drill the ball down that right touchline. It's certainly too strong a wind to have a go at the sticks from there, you'd think, Tom.
He'd do well to hit the 22, I reckon. Just penalised for losing their bindings. The front row for the Cornish Pirates. Oh, he's managed to find the suckling pig van.
And Rupert, you came up onto him as well, so you lost your bind.
But a good opportunity, I think, for Hartpury. Spent very little, if any, time in Cornish Pirates 22. Key for them to come away with something.
10-15 metres out here, Hartpury. What can they create? The ball is taken in by Joe Dancer, who's onto the field early in this first half. Hartpury still getting some go forward.
It's the ball carrier to ground.
Referee says the ball carrier's gone to ground. And it's going to be turnover ball for the Pirates, and you can hear what that means to them.
Ball carrier's gone to ground.
Really disappointing from a Hartpury perspective. So much promise. Line break and penalties.
No, you went to ground.
One to get them into that position. And then, well, it all came to a bit of a flat end, didn't it? Cornish Pirates, let's give them their due. They defended it well, but Hartpury would have wanted to have achieved something. They've hardly spent any time up here. It's so difficult, especially in these conditions. When you get up there, you have to nick something.
But it'll be fascinating to see come the second half how much the wind is worth.
Well, it's so many times, isn't it, you hear people say, well, it's a 10-point win. Well, if it is, it might be 12 points for Hartpury. You can't bank on the fact that that second 40 is going to be enough.
Yeah.
If you try and nick something in that first half, because let's face it, it is difficult for Hartpury in this first 40.
Crouch. Yes. Connection. Binds.
And actually,
defending to do here.
Sorry, I was going to say, you can tell the strength of the wind as Wilcox is inside his own 10-metre line.
Yeah, ready to receive this long kick downfield. Well, now it's a penalty, so Pirates will have a little bit more time to make this clearance.
It's Rupert Harden coming out again, that's twice. So clearly, Pirates just putting the squeeze on him there.
Good to get a couple of your messages via Facebook. Christopher Lovell watching from Philadelphia in the USA, saying Pirates looking the better team. Well, they're certainly better on the scoreboard by now. Watching from Felixstowe, Suffolk, but a Penzance made. Well, Jen Salmon, good to hear that. And Hendricks watching from Sevenoaks. Michael James Rodder watching from Newquay. Jerry Drew watching from Newlyn. Watching from Newlyn, you could have come down and watched the game.
Yeah, even my geography knows that's not far away.
If you've got a roaring fire, I'll let you get away with that one.
We'll come and find you.
Yeah, exactly. Pop the kettle on at half-time. We'll be round for a cuppa. In the meantime, Hartpury get the ball away again through Perry, back inside for Bolton. Cochrane, Matt Gilbert. Man famously plays for the England death side. Luke Eves. Just trying to straighten, tackle by his opposite number, Coronel there. Managed to get away with a little roll right in front of the referee. Dan Murphy, accompanied by Dancer, over the 10-metre line now. And they're doing decent work at going through the phases, Hartpury, but they've got to find a little bit more result from the game line. Now they come back this side. They might have numbers here if one of them can use it. They float the ball over the top foot at Sheldon, just down below us. And Sheldon's tackled by O'Meara. And they're trying to get players in to get the turnover straight away. Murphy is there. They come back to the right again. Now they need to get a quick ball from this. Is it going to be quick enough for Cochrane? Perry again, now out the back for Bolton. Bolton, oh, and the pass through didn't quite make it. It's come off the Pirates' hand, though, in the meantime. And, oh, just wriggling his way through like an eel is then Coulson. Found the little gap. Now they need the players on the shoulder for the offloads, Hartpury. Is there a little bit of room backwards through the middle there? The advantage is over from the previous knock-on. That one's just gone backwards. Now they're just getting themselves a little bit isolated here, Hartpury. They've lost another few metres, having had that initial break from Coulson. Dyer. Now they're on the halfway line. Cochrane off to the right. They've decided to put boot to ball through Perry.
There's a massive space now.
Losing a little bit of patience with building it through the phases, but then it's come straight back. And Perry gets it straight down the throat from the kick. And Hartpury will build again. Dyer with the little dummy and then steps through. Cheeseman with the tackle. Cochrane, Perry. Numbers trying to arrive. Luke Eves had done brilliantly to get the hand through for the offload, but there was no one on the shoulder, and it's just that moment on the half break that
advantage, it's a knock-on.
Hartpury aren't getting the numbers for.
Just in terms of that Hartpury attack, I mean, they're not really going outside the 15s. So they're chopping back into the defenders that have been left behind from the phase before. Yeah. If they just get exhausted, even down to the 5-metre line, you don't have to go right to the touchline, because that means you're running into a full line of defence. But there's 2 or 3 times they've chopped back against the grain when they've had numbers. Just need to try and exhaust those phases and stretch those defenders a bit more. If they just get on their bike, get around the corner.
Yep, let's go, lads.
Plenty of possession there for Hartpury.
Connect in tight, please.
They'll be well aware, though, that with 27 minutes on the clock, they haven't got any points on the board as yet.
Lads, here we go. Right, you're both there. There you go.
Let's go, Kingsty. Yes, Dick. Get ready. He's watching, walking around.
Henry Sandys is watching from Hong Kong.
Very
nice.
It is a truly international feed. It's great to be able to bring you this live coverage. We've had a few games already on championshiprugby.co.uk, or whether you're watching on the England Rugby Facebook page. It's great to have your company wherever you are tuning in. Ball's there again. Has that gone out on the full? Has done. Harry Cochrane thought he might have timed that one just right, but it didn't quite work out.
It's a new ball. No quick ones, it's a new ball.
It's a poor error from Cochrane. Conditions like this, so much better as a kicking option to just whack it, but really hard along the floor. Drill it along the floor, use a bit of the wind, use the uneven bounce of the field. Puts those receivers under so much more pressure.
Cochrane again. Deputising for Harry Randall. Jersey boy and originally Cochrane. He's also the assistant groundsman at Hartpury. He's having a bit of fun with a few of the groundsmen at the other grounds. Now this could be an interesting turnover ball for the Pirates. It was knocked on and then tapped on from Laverick to Coronel, who takes the metres upfield. Oh, but then it's just been knocked on from Caulfield. It'll be another advantage, and now the break. Well, trying to step through is Sheldon, but referee is happy to bring them back for the knock-on. We, by the way, have, well, an award for the most smug viewer in the world currently, because I've got Craig Dowse watching this from my sunbed in St. Lucia. Well, Craig, how very lovely for you. Matt Roby watching from Indianapolis, Matt Carter watching from Canada.
What is it? Is this just like text in, tell us where you're from, and make us feel really cold up here?
Absolutely. Edward Jones is watching from his toilet. Well, that's too much information, Edward.
In St. Lucia.
Yeah. yeah. As long as you've got a glamorous toilet, wherever it is.
But it doesn't have a view like us.
Not sure I'd want a view like this from my toilet. That would be slightly strange, Tom May.
Okay, guys, let's go.
In the meantime, defensive scrum for Hartpury.
Crouch.
We'll revisit what's your name and where do you come from, second half perhaps, but good to know you're all out there and enjoying the coverage.
That was straight, wasn't it?
Yeah, Cochrane has almost fed the second row there, but Dyer gets it back to his scrum half, and it's fed out the back from Eves, the big square unit in that inside centre channel. Tom May knows all about that as they find the right-hand touchline. Coulson goes to ground. Cochrane again back through Eves. There's appeals to the referee that players are holding onto the ball there, but the referee's not interested. Perry, not quite sure that was the right option. Just been met with two big Cornish defenders. Now that's the moment the quick ball needs to come. Cochrane is just taking a little bit too long to get there each time. Look at him, he's just jogging along to each rut there.
It's just a bit tight, isn't he?
Well, they decided to pick straight through, and again they needed a man on the shoulder, and it wasn't quite there for Hartpury. Not short of endeavour, but they're not going to make that breakthrough unless that second support player is there, or unless they get quick ball. And once again, the slow ball has allowed Cornish Pirates to get in and force the turnover penalty.
I can see what they're trying to do. They're trying to negate Cornish Pirates' sort of up and in defence. It's, you know, by playing in the midfield, you allow and force the Cornish Pirates to then have to defend with a bit more bit more soft and use the touchlines. But they're effectively just chopping and changing, just because that's what they talked about in the week. They actually got their heads up and saw what defenders were ahead of them. They may well see that actually getting around the corner at times has been a better option for them to take.
I mean, if they're playing that sort of soft way, trying to create that soft defence using the touchline, what's the moment at which Hartpury are expecting to make that breakthrough?
Well, I think you just, it's a lot easier to attack a defence that's very soft in the way that it sits off you, and far easier than trying to attack a side that's getting off the line really quickly. But if you can get off the line, if you get round the corner and beat those defenders to get back, because obviously if you come up forward, you've got to get back again.
I'll go with the penalty. Has he got another one right? No, he hasn't. Just went away. So still, Cornish Pirates 10, Hartpury 0. And the question will start to be asked, of course, in terms of the Pirates, that yes, they've got 10 points on the board, but Hartpury aren't letting them have it all their own way, and if 10 points is all they can manage in this first 40 minutes, well, Hartpury will certainly feel that the advantage is there for them to do something with it second half. We've still got a few minutes until the break. What can Pirates build? Cheeseman, that's a nice little offload to Cowan Dickey, and there is the man on the shoulder that we've not seen as much of from Hartpury. And then the ball out the back nearly wasn't met with a hand, but then it's with Billy Keast.
Hold here.
It's there for Day. Just a little slower getting that one away, but Cheeseman is there, accompanied by Toby Freeman. Day might spot an opportunity to try and get around Matt Gilbert. Almost needed someone running the other way there. O'Meara.
No, not now.
It's there for Laverick to play scrum half. Cheeseman being used as that first carrier a couple of times. Now he presents it to his scrum half. Then they find Andrew. They've got numbers on the left if they can use it here. Pirates, the quick defence comes up. Oh, and they've made a mess of it in the end. It didn't need to be absolutely hammered, did it?
Still in.
Simple little pop pass was all that was required.
No!
And then straying offside.
Advantage over.
Clearance kicked down by Cochrane. Advantage over from the referee. So Pirates come again. Moyle.
Good hit from Reece Oakley.
Yeah, it certainly was. Hartpury skipper. Puts the winger on the deck. Day is appealing to the referee, as any good scrum half will. Cargill. That's nicely out the back from Keast, and now O'Meara. Little show from O'Meara, wants to get going. He's lost it in the tackle, and this could be a little breakaway from Hartpury. Play the ball back in field to Sheldon. Wilcox.
No advantage.
Well, he slowed down and played it back in there. Wonder whether Wilcox might have chipped that downfield and had a go. I wonder if we can go back and have a little look at the turnover.
Cargill's getting away with it, but there's a few too many passes that are just back shoulder at the moment. O'Meara, just to be fair, I think it was Sheldon that just got back and put pressure on him. Had that ball in one hand.
That was the pass that didn't need to be walloped at him, really. There were two. It was a simple 2-on-1 at that stage.
Water off, please. Time's on.
Just a little soft pop pass to the man running on. He was either through himself or would have drawn the last defender.
It was a great line, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Don't let him hit the ground, Jackie Moon.
It was just, he was thrown a 30-yard pass when he was 5 away.
Feet up. Yes. Billy, let's go. Come on. Cheese! 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 Yes, please. Crouch! See?
You can see
Binds!
the setup that Hartpury have. Already looking to try and run this or create a better kicking position for themselves.
7, go back!
Really good competition at that scrum. Dyer comes away with it. Did his best to absolutely flatten the Cornish defence in the form of Cargill.
Do a bad job of it.
Hold.
Haven't seen too many box kicks from Cochrane into the wind. It's well, just
what it is, dropped a bit. Actually.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I've looked at the flags over there. They might not agree, but yeah, maybe slightly has dropped for momentarily. And Moyle trying to get away. Hartpury just managing to get themselves in the passing channel, which denied more of an attack down that far left-hand side. It's then thrown back in field. They miss out Cheeseman that time, and then back through Cargill. They want to give the backs a bit more of a run. O'Meara puts the ball chipped down into the corner, or just into the 22. That's very, very nicely done. Just skipping its way in, and well, that was popular enough from the home fans.
Matt,
that's what you want.
Just have word with your boys.
I mentioned it
on your box kick. Just make sure your pillars
in terms of the attacking kicks and the kicks out of hand in phase play, just drill it along the floor. Put pressure on those guys that are trying to receive it.
Okay.
But certainly, from our commentary position, we've spent a long time looking out to our right, haven't we?
Yeah.
Cornish Pirates have had a huge amount of possession and territory. His first 40. with just over 2 minutes to go. Hartpury pleased to get into the change rooms, I think.
Yeah, they will be. O'Meara takes it from the high ball. Day gets quick ball through Cargill again. Moyle just beginning to look a little brighter each time he gets the ball, Moyle. Scorer of those 7 tries this season, 3rd in the try-scoring records. Not quite enough width on it yet for the Pirates, but they're playing patiently at the moment. Just as I say that, they wallop a ball out to the wing and ask Toby Freeman to do a bit of the up-front stuff on his own. Ball is cleared. It's there for Alex Day, former St Joseph's Ipswich man.
No, these tips.
Produced plenty of talent over the years there. Now it comes again through Laverick. Now they look a little wider for the Argentine man, Coronel. Spent last season with Lazio Rugby in Italy, did Coronel, but there's just that knock-on at the base of the ruck. And Hartpury will have another defensive scrum to deal with.
Cheers, mate. Go, fella. Here we go, lads. Mike's over here. Let's get in some gloves.
The Pirates. Why Pirates called Pirates? Because they are.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You dug that out of Google, didn't you?
Sorry.
Got 40 seconds.
It's one of my friend's favourite jokes.
About 40.
She's 39.
What are you trying to say? Should it be mine?
It doesn't look good when you're shouting, because then I have to make a decision whether I'm going to penalise.
Referee just having a quick chat as the
40 seconds.
players take on a bit of water, looking around the field to see who it is who's getting some attention. It seems that I think O'Meara just below us is getting a little bit more attention. I'm assuming it's that cut to the eye, unless his mascara's running.
Here's the mic, lads. Let's go over here where it's a bit more grass.
Just to remind you, our clock is as good an estimation as we can, alongside the referee's watch.
Time's on.
We don't have the official timekeeper tapped into our clock, but we are close to half-time.
I think Gavin Catt will be having some strong words at half-time, just in terms of ball retention, little errors, those inaccuracies that he'd spoken about during the week in the build-up to this game. It's just causing them a few too many problems in this half.
Binds! Set!
Cochrane has got that in for Dyer. They've been doing well on those scrums. Coulson nearly thought he could dance around the outside there.
Yes, that's time.
Spent a bit of time playing his rugby in Australia with Manly. Had a torrid time when he was registered with the Falcons. He had 6 hamstring tears, Ed Coulson. And well, he won't get one. He won't get another one before half-time, because the referee's decided that will do us for the first half. Cornish Pirates 10, Hartpury 0. And well, as we've discussed there just in commentary for a couple of moments, well, it might all be about how many points are in that wind, and it did start to drop there, but Hartpury will be relatively pleased to go in, given they are the visitors to Cornish Pirates, who are leading by 10 points to 0. It was an early penalty from Will Cargill, and then Tom Cowan-Dickey with the rumble over and the score. And then Cargill added the conversion. So Cornish Pirates 10, Hartpury College 0 at half-time. Now, if you want to pop the kettle on, you can, but you might want to just hang on for a moment, because we've got a rather special film that England Rugby have launched. It's called The Game of Our Lives, and well, it's a campaign to unite everyone involved in the sport by celebrating the people and the stories that make up the game. You'll hear a bit of The Law of the Jungle by Rudyard Kipling. I've seen this a couple of times this week. It's very, very special indeed. Enjoy this.
Now this is the law of the jungle. As old and as true as the sky. And the wolf that should keep it may prosper, but the wolf that should break it must die. Wash daily from nose tip to tail tip. Drink deeply, but never too deep. And remember, the night is for hunting. And forget not, the day is for sleep. The jackal may follow the tiger, but cub, when thy whiskers are grown, remember the wolf is a hunter. go forth and get food of thy own. Keep peace with the lords of the jungle, the tiger, the panther, the bear, and trouble not Hattie the silent, and mock not the boar in his lair. When pack meets with pack in the jungle, and neither will go from the trail, lie down till the leaders have spoken. It may be fair words shall prevail. As the creeper that girdles the tree trunk, the law runneth forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack.
Power of the wolf is the pack. Brilliant video, I think you'll agree. It's a nice little piece, that, isn't it?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Love that. I love the whole thing about grassroots rugby. The whole. Yeah, in fact, I love going back to watch my little lad play now. Not, you know, grabbing a coffee and a sausage roll on a Sunday morning and watching him play is perfect. You know, it's the whole reason why we start playing rugby. Playing with your friends and getting, you know, mucky and cold and muddy. That's what it's all about, and building those friendships and keeping them.
Yeah, absolutely. No, brilliant video. Well done to everyone at the RFU who was involved in that one. Certainly enjoyed that. We've got some international action coming for you very soon on englandrugby.com and the Facebook page, because England play Canada in the women's series, the 2017 Old Mutual World Series, getting underway for them on Friday at Allianz Park. We will be there bringing you coverage live at, kickoff is 7:30 in the first game. The second match is on Tuesday the 21st at 7:45 at the Twickenham Stoop, so get yourself along to that one. And then on Saturday the 25th of November, the third match in the series against Canada, 5:40. It's after the men's game, that one, so the doors will be open basically. If you've got a ticket, you can stay there, or if you haven't, you can rock up and get one. If you want tickets to the other games, well, englandrugby.com/tickets. The Red Roses would dearly love your support, of course. They're starting another year of a 4-year cycle, and well, Tom May, as you can see by the sort of congested nature of those fixtures, playing on a Friday and a Tuesday and a Saturday, they might be a fair amount of time away from that next World Cup, but a real opportunity to give some of these young stars a feel of what it's like to play top-level rugby in that sort of schedule. Yeah, and that's difficult. Friday, Tuesday, Saturday. You know, clearly there'll be some form of rotation, and not the same teams will line up, but you know, a good opportunity to learn what it's all about, get into those structures and try and understand, you know, what top-level rugby is all about. I think the women's game has progressed brilliantly over the past few years. It's fantastic to see so many girls out playing on Sundays, and we just talked about grassroots rugby. You know, you go down to any club now and they've got girls teams, they've got women's teams, and it's all building towards what is now becoming a bigger and better competition at the top level. Yeah, we saw the Barbarians, of course. They had their games in Limerick on Friday, the first time they fielded a Barbarians women's side. Some fantastic scores in that game, and the likes of Kelly Russell from Canada taking part in that game, getting ready, of course, for Canada's 3-match series against England women. The Red Roses, make sure you stay with us and join us for that coverage on Friday evening, that 7:30 game at Allianz Park. So we've got another quick video for you to enjoy now. Harry Shepherd plays his rugby at Bedford, and well, he's had a couple of scrapes in his time. Some interesting stories on his side of his rugby life, and well, his life in general. So let's hear from Harry now.
My first sort of memory of rugby would be I went to join in a rugby session with my brother. He's 5 years older than me. I went to join in, and I remember getting involved, and I shouldn't have been as involved, obviously being a young child, but my dad was the coach at the time. So my first memory is sort of being involved when I shouldn't have been, and trying to put myself about with these older lads. That's, ever since a kid, that's what I wanted to do, trying to play rugby, really. When I was 13, I was on tour with my school out in France, and it's bizarre, really. I took a whack to the face which knocked me out. So in France they took me to hospital, took a scan, thought I'd fractured my eye socket, and from that they found a weird blemish on my brain. I went back to England, had a few more scans, and I was eventually sent up to King's College in London. I don't really remember the first, I think it was the 2 weeks after the operation, because they had messed with my moods and my brain. I was told basically I've got a bit of rubbish in, it's like a bin, rubbish in there. They can lift the lid, take it out and put the lid back on. And that's how I always pictured it. Obviously, rugby at the time, was, to me, it's the first question I asked my parents, can I play rugby, can I play rugby? And they said, well, obviously we don't know. My parents sort of tried to put it softly to me, I think, sort of, you might not be able to, and sort of just try and explain to me this severity of what happened to my head and how the plate's in there now and things like that. So that was quite tough, few tough days there, but all I cared about was trying to get back to getting back up into those academies, or getting back to the levels of intensity in the rugby that I was playing at beforehand. A year after the op, got told by the hospital I'd be able to go back to full contact rugby, which was obviously really pleasing for me, as long as I wear my head guard. So to this day, the first thing goes in my bag, and then from then I just tried to push on again and went from there, really. I've been up here in Bedford for the last 4 months, really, since moving from London Scottish. Playing the championship's brilliant. Bedford's a real rugby town, so certainly come game day, everyone from the town comes to watch, comes down to Goldington Road, and they're here early on, and as the players turn up around 1ish, we walk through the gate and they're here cheering us on, and come kick off, the atmosphere is right up there. What sort of drives me and what kept me so ambitious, I think a lot of it is down to the support I've had from my family over the last, well, since I was a kid, since I started playing rugby. And it's not just the fact of I want to get back playing rugby, it's sort of I want to go and make them proud, and I always told them I was going to do it, so sort of something within myself to go and prove them right and prove myself right.
Inside champ rugby from Harry Shepherd there. Well, now just as we await the teams coming out for the second half, we can have a quick look at the try from the first half. Tom Cowan-Dickey snaffling over, and well, it was after some concerted pressure from Cornish Pirates on the Hartpury line.
It wasn't. We mentioned it in commentary. Hartpury just caught out defending attackers that were non-existent, didn't close up that space in and around the breakdown, and you're not going to stop 110 kilo Tom Cowan-Dickey from that range. Shortened up very late. Luke Eves late into that defensive position, that guard position, just either side of the breakdown. Just about snaffled it out, really, hadn't they? But then just got caught. And you just wonder, Hartpury haven't really fired a shot yet. You wonder what this second half's going to bring. Certainly Cornish Pirates have had some opportunities, they've just had a bit too many errors to their game, a few too many inaccuracies that Gavin Cattle's talked about in the build-up. We want to be ironing them out, but I reckon Mark Cornwall look to Hartpury to try and raise the pace of the game.
Well, we can also have a look. There's plenty of other rugby going on, of course, this weekend. The Autumn Internationals, but also the Tyrrell's Premier 15s. And well, we can bring you up to speed with that, because, of course, we've had plenty of live action from that over the course of this season as well, with some more to come in December. But those results for round 8 in the Tyrrell's Premier 15s. Bristol ladies losing out to Loughborough Lightning by 12 points to 8. A close encounter, that one. Gloucester Hartpury 29-22 against Furwood Waterloo. Really good effort from Furwood Waterloo, who've suffered a couple of big scores in the league so far this season. And then Harlequins ladies, well, they've kept up their record, 8 out of 8. 43 points to 5, the winners over Richmond, the real local derby there. And well, Saracens enjoying themselves against Darlington Moden Park Sharks by 44 points to 19. And well, there was that other result, the Worcester Valkyries in 10th, losing out to Wasps ladies, who scored 51 points. But it's Saracens and Harlequins ladies who are top of the Tyrrell's Premier 15s. They are unbeaten so far, 8 out of 8 for both of them, as you can see, 39 points apiece as well. right down the bottom. Worcester still looking for that first win, as are forward Waterloo. And, well, there's still plenty to see, plenty to run in the Tyrrell's Premier 15s, but certainly Harlequins ladies under Gary Street and Karen Findlay are enjoying their first season in the new top league in the women's club competition. So those are the games that are coming up in the Old Mutual Wealth Series, and we can also bring you a rundown of some of the other games. Next Sunday you can join us after we've got the game on Friday night against England and Canada. We are back in the Greene King IPA Championship. Nottingham against Ealing Trailfinders. That one on Sunday the 19th of November, 3 o'clock kickoff. And then that'll be followed, well, on the Friday evening, our first Friday night game here on our live streaming coverage. Bedford against Hartpury College. So we will see Hartpury again. And then at the beginning of December, it is the Ace final against the Champions Trophy final. A chance to have a little look into the schools competition. But now at the start of the second half, we're hoping we can actually just dip down and have a word with Mark Cornwell, because, well, we know that the second half is going to be the win behind Hartpury. And, well, I wonder, Mark, if you can hear me. First of all, I'd just love to ask you what you think is in that wind. Is it a 10-point wind, and do you think you can overcome Cornish Pirates in this second half? Mark, can you hear me down there?
Yep.
So, Mark, if you can hear us, I think we're just having a technical issue. But if you can hear me, I was just wondering if you think that that second half wind is going to prove to be pretty crucial. We can't quite hear Mark at the moment. Well, we might just have to leave him for the second half. Let me just check. Mark, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Ah, there we go. Mark, I was just trying to ask you about how much you think is in this wind in the second half, given you're 10 points down.
Well, I hope there's about 11 points in it, to be honest with you. It is a strong wind. We've struggled to play into it, certainly get any width to our game. Not been a great half, but if we can pull those 10 points and some back, I'll be happy that we've gone in 10-0.
It seems there have been a couple of moments where players have sort of made a half break, or perhaps there's been a bit of front foot ball, but then the recycle to the second phase has just been a little slower. Is that something you've talked about at the break?
Yeah, it is. It's also about making it very difficult for them to exit into this wind, because we found it difficult to get any length of our kicks. So trying to get some field position and apply pressure and hopefully put the points on the board.
Well, we've got 40 minutes to see if you guys can. Mark, thank you very much for joining us ahead of this second half. And we could finally get our comms through to Mark Cornwell. So the players are coming out then for the start of the second half. We've got Hartpury with us, and the Cornish Pirates, I can just see down the tunnel, are assembling themselves to come out. Tom May, what would be your advice if you're in Mark Cornwell's position as to what Hartpury have got to do to turn this one around?
I think they've got to fire a shot. I don't think they've really had an opportunity to really test the Cornish Pirates so far in this game. They'll be fairly disappointed with the way they played out that first 40. Didn't really have too much of the ball in that final third. But they're really a team. They're a very fit side. They want to run. They want to try and play an expansive game, and they'll want to try and test this Cornish Pirates defence rather than just try and ride out their attack.
So we're ready to go. Matthew O'Grady, our referee, just checks that everybody is present and correct. And Cargill with the restart. Sends that one down, takes a little bit of a bounce before Dyer's able to grab hold of it, and he's straight into the tackle of Cheeseman. Put himself about a fair bit. Did the Pirates open side over the course of that first half defensively. Cochrane sends that downfield. One of the Pirates' men onto the field second half. Just looking to get confirmation of any of the changes that we've had at the break, but Pirates still come forwards. Oh, and they might just step through the gap here. Oh, they just tried to find Kyle Moyle. Didn't quite come off for them.
Advantage knock on. Advantage over.
Oh, good line.
Centre of the field. Coming back to the left-hand side again now. Pirates nearly finding their way through. Laverick having to just check in the tackle from Dancer. Day back into the right. Cowan Dickey crabbing as many metres on the floor as he can before Daryl Dyer eventually asks him to sit down for a second time. But in fact the penalty goes to Hartpury.
That's disappointing from...
Sorry, just to interrupt you there, Tom. I think we can go down and speak to Gavin Cattle. Gavin, can you hear us down there on the sideline? Hopefully you can hear us. What were your words at half-time to your boys? You've obviously got some defending to do with the wind in your faces second half.
Yes, yeah, a little bit disappointing how we controlled the ball in the final third. So basically, we feel like we're winning the collision at the minute. So it's, you know, can we be a little bit more direct and look for them offload opportunities? I control the ball better. We're going to have to in this wind.
Would you have, would you have hoped to got a little bit more out of the wind in that first 40?
Yeah, definitely. And you know, our line out didn't function either, so that's been addressed. So just hoping for a bit more possession to get a launch, get our attack going.
All right, well, we appreciate your time. Thanks very much for joining us as the Pirates just try and come forward again, but actually now it's with Hartpury. Luke Eves with the bust up the middle, and they go again. Just a little juggle from Jacob Perry there. Now it's fed through. That was cute from Cochrane. Just doing enough to keep Hartpury turned back towards their try line. And well, Tom, we said towards the end of that first half that we were looking to our right quite a lot. I have a feeling that spirit may maintain itself for the next 40.
He certainly didn't sound too happy, did he, Gavin Cattle, about the first half performance his troops showed.
Yeah, I think he's getting a feeling that they've left a little bit out there in terms of what they could have got out of the game in that first 40, didn't he? Murphy. It's there for Langley, then the little chip through. Oh, that's worked out nicely. Oh, now then. I think the referee is... Oh, he called the mark. Sorry, I'm getting myself awfully confused there. I thought for a moment it was a simple case of him catching it and taking it into touch, and then it has been dealt with absolutely brilliantly on the kick downfield. Plenty of pressure on Hartpury, who now come forwards again with Perry, who spotted a bit of space over towards the seaside over there. As Moyle goes back to gather it. The tackle is made. Now it's a little bit loose. Day looks to try and get around Reese Oakley, and once again Pirates find themselves in their own 22, and Hartpury will be saying after that first half, see how you like it.
Hasn't survived.
Cowan Dickey is there to help guard it. Alex Day.
No, still in. No. Thank you.
He's trying to just keep it a little bit lower and out of the wind, and that's worked out nicely enough for Day.
A couple of great kicks from Perry.
Thanks, mate.
Putting Hartpury in good positions. The first one, the chip over the top. I think in these conditions, I keep mentioning it, just drill it along the floor. If you sit the ball up, certainly in the 22, you just give the opposition the chance to call the mark. But fair play to Hartpury, got back, played quickly, and used the space that had been created down that left-hand touchline.
Matt Gilbert has just arrived a little late to that line-out, but now he's taken it from the back. But well, the referee says that one wasn't straight.
I was just about to say, bear in mind the wind conditions, we haven't actually seen a terrible showing of line-out throwing.
So you're basically saying it's your fault for thinking it?
Yeah, I'll hold my hand up.
You cursed it, Mr. May.
I said if they can, the gap's like 2 meters big. If they make the gap better, I think he's going to give
it was quite a decent effort to have thrown that the wrong side into the wind, but nonetheless, maybe a bit of overcompensation from Will Tanner.
Yeah, good call. It's your first. Come on.
On the Pirates bench, player coach Alan Paver will be chomping at the bit to potentially make an impact. He won't put himself on if he doesn't feel he needs to get on, but he'd love to chase down Graham Dawes' record you heard earlier.
What was he on? 300?
He's on 356 if he gets on today.
Okay, let's bring
not bad, eh?
Please.
Or maybe it wasn't Graham Dawes' record, it was just the fact that Graham Dawes was still playing at 50, I think we were discussing earlier, wasn't it?
I mean, that's just terrifying, isn't it?
Suddenly makes those 37-year-old legs at retirement Tom May feel like you're a spring chicken. Imagine. Do it all again for another 13 years.
Crouch. Yes. Yes. Binds. Set.
Front rows finally come together. Day takes his time before getting that one in, and by taking his time, Pirates probably getting, Hartpury getting a little frustrated, getting the early shove on and giving away the free kick. Dan Murphy asks the question.
Scrum. Scrum called.
Pirates have said we fancy the scrum again.
I think they're going to try and earn themselves a penalty.
That's clearly the outlook, isn't it?
It's the easiest way for them to get up the field.
Could be risky though, because it's not as if one side has had enormous dominance at set piece.
No, they caused Rupert Harden a bit of a problem, didn't they, in that first 40, but it wasn't necessarily a standout problem for Hartpury. I tell you what, I'm stood directly above the touch judge here, and Hartpury being very generous from a 5-metre point of view. I would be stood right level with him.
Now the ball comes out. They opt to go down the short side, Pirates. They have it again. Big call comes in front, inside from Andrew. Penalty to Hartpury.
Number 2.
Pirates going off their feet to try and help secure the ball.
2 off feet. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. I agree with you, Matt. We got it. Alex, you're over the limit on the time you're taking to put that one in. Okay, we've got to go.
Well, that's interesting. You can hear the referee telling Alex Day he's taking a little bit too long in getting that ball in. It's interesting that the referee still gave the free kick.
He's pretty clear, actually, in the way he's been talking to the players all game. It's always what you want as a player. You want your referee to be clear in his communication, even if it's the wrong decision. At least he's explaining why.
Joe Dancer takes it down. They look to try and shepherd this down. It was a little bit harried. It wasn't quite the game plan, I don't think, there. Trying to make the best of a bad situation when the ball wasn't quite where they wanted it. And Matt Gilbert decides he's going to pick and go for Hartpury. Just get a bit of route one. Set the platform. Now penalty Hartpury. And Dan Murphy straight away is the first. The Loosehead says, we'll go for the sticks, please. Rhys Oakley encourages Jacob Perry to do just that, and this will be the first chance of points on the board for the visitors.
Oh, and you back Perry, wouldn't you, to knock that over?
Yeah, where you are.
10-3, and really this is a mirror image of that first 40. And Cornish Pirates have got to be very careful that they don't absorb pressure after pressure, because generally that turns itself into points over time.
No problem at all from Jacob Perry.
Some poor soul's going to go and get that from the boating lake out the back.
We'll see him about next week, I think. If that's carried as far as it might have done.
I think the bigger issue is at the moment that the feet's taking too long to go in. Okay?
He was Player of the Year in the University League in 2015.
So something needs to happen there.
He's at 173 points.
Yeah, when you're ready. Cheers.
In his first couple of seasons at Cornish Pirates.
All right.
His restart hangs nicely, but Daryl Dyer's under no pressure as he takes that restart.
It's still in.
Cochrane makes sure that he gets as much protection as he can. Box kick downfield, doesn't find touch.
Well, I'll tell you what, Toby May has put his foot through that.
Yeah, got a decent lick on it, didn't he? Certainly, it actually forced Mike Wilcox to go backwards. And now the ball downfield has found O'Meara, and O'Meara fancies chipping that one back. And again, he's got over the last line of defence, and the ball is bouncing. And, well, it's just about worked out for Ed Sheldon. Did well. After that first bounce, I thought he might be in trouble, but Sheldon got there and made a few valuable yards. And Cochrane spins it away again through Gilbert, and they come out the back from Perry. Big tackle. George Bolton shrugs off his opposite man. And now they fire it back for Perry, who wants to use the boot again, but Pirates, having experience playing into that win, seem to be defending it better positionally and looking to try and come back. Alex Day runs it up to the halfway line, and can Pirates prove to use ball in hand better than Hartpury in that first half? And Alex Cheeseman is coming straight through the middle. Really good run from the open side, former Wasps and Henley man. And now there's Cowan Dickey, who will run like a truck straight up the middle. Now out to the left with Moyle. Sets the ball back. They're under a fair amount of pressure here, though. Now they try and come around the corner. Coronel places it, then Day looking for the man to run on at full speed, but it went forward off a knee. First thing that Harry Cochrane does is kick it straight downfield and put the pressure on. The closest man chasing is Ed Coulson, but Kyle Moyle's got plenty of time to get back there. He's going to try and do a number on Coulson, which he has done. And over the 22, eventually the tackle comes in from Cochrane.
Survived.
Referee was hoping that, or was nearly calling the turnover, but it's still there. Cheeseman with it for the Pirates. Off to the right, little no-look pass from Laverick, and now they get going with O'Meara on the right. O'Meara's got support back inside from Caulfield.
No, still in.
O'Meara will have to play scrum half here. Cheeseman getting a decent bit of rugby over the last couple of minutes here at the Mene. Through the hands of Toby May. Another big hit through the middle. Day looks at his options, now spots there's nobody at home in the corner behind Hartpury, but the ball hasn't quite bobbled its way as far as they might have wanted it to, and in fact it's been knocked on, so Freeman gathers it in, and it has worked out for the Pirates. We've ended up with possession here. Hartpury trying to hold them up, but there is a knock-on advantage coming. And Pirates have the ball. It's there again for Caulfield. A couple of big carries in the last half a minute. And then it's up. Oh, there was a little hand in there, was there? Referee happy enough to play on, but I think he's going with a penalty here. It's an immediate yellow card. And it's the Hartpury skipper, Rhys Oakley. Knew exactly what he was doing there.
Great set of phases from Cornish Pirates. Fantastic compared to all of their first 40. In terms of their attack, that was far better. Improvement on the way they constructed it. Oh, I don't know whether that's a bit harsh.
Cheers, Luke. Thanks.
I know he's got a big set of mitts, but that's that might be a bit harsh. They took their time down this far end of the field to create the space that allowed O'Meara to get up that right touchline. That's what it all came from. That patience and that ability to just bide their time, not get panicked into just hoofing the ball upfield. I definitely think that wind's dropped though, because we've seen Cornish Pirates are far more happy to kick the ball in this second half than Hartpury were in the first. And they've kicked it with some interest as well.
Well, Billy Keast has made way, as has Jack Andrew. And
Do you know what you're going to do?
Tom Duncan was already onto the field. Marlon Walker has also come on.
Is that what's on, mate? On purpose, was it? Yeah. I think he walked off by the time I got my hand in my pocket. It's on purpose.
It's an interesting line from the referee. I think he'd walked off almost before my hand had gone in my pocket to give him the card.
Make sure you guys are ready.
So, well, one of the older gentlemen in the Hartpury side, you would think Rhys Oakley might have been feeling that set of phases slightly more than others.
Deliberate knock on.
So a penalty chance here then. Into the wind.
Oh, the old.
He's got enough time.
Lie down and stick your finger on top of it. It's all right getting a back row to do that, as long as they know just before the point of contact to take their finger off. Good strike. Oh, he just felt that Hartpury in the opening phases, or the opening few minutes of this second half, just getting into their stride, but fair play to Cornish Pirates. They worked that brilliantly and earned those 3 points.
Well, Cargill's penalty cancelling out the one from Parry, so whereas we were 10 points apiece, but Hartpury now, although they've got the wind, they're down a player. And Cornish Pirates may take a bit of heart from having got up there and managed to get those extra 3 points.
That is annoying from Gavin Cattell, isn't it?
This player holding the ball down, preventing the steal.
He will be, well, he's not, because I can see him, but he would be.
He's fuming inside.
Yes.
Shot.
So often you see them go up one way and then come back the other and concede, and well,
it's one of those things that happens time and time again. It's just weird.
James Williams is onto the field. He's going to be the one to line this one up. Kick's gone wide. Missed opportunity for Hartpury. 22 dropout for the Pirates. And we've got a ball boy down below us who's brought a ball onto the field, but he was trying to bring it up to the halfway line. We've now realised that he needs to get it down to the 22.
Well, now we've got 2 balls.
Just hold on a second.
Always the way.
Gone wrong.
London bus syndrome.
No, not late. Let's just, yeah, time's up. Just time it, lads.
Will Cargill then. Gone a little deeper. Ramira the closest to chase it. Hartpury spreading it back into the middle of the field. Now cutting back is Wilcox, going back where the ball had come from, wanting to step in through the challenge of Walker, who's onto the field now. Auckland-born prop.
The ball's available.
Off to the right again from Hartpury, trying to get on the outside of the defender. Coulson, well tackled by Moyle. It's there again for Cochrane. Cochrane goes a little deep, and that's taken in by Mike Fluke, former England students.
Oh, they're quick off the line.
Oh, and they step through with Eves. Eves gets going. They need someone back on the inside. It was Mike Wilcox who arrived perhaps a little bit too late for the ball from Sheldon.
Pirates, you agree? Yes. Black line out. New ball.
Came back off a Pirate's hand, so Hartpury, for their endeavour, will still have the line out, having made all the metres.
Yeah, O'Meara got back just in the nick of time, but I just wonder whether Bolton might have been better going with that inside ball after he made that line break. 2 defenders tracking him on his outside. O'Meara was one of those. Just looked like there might have been a tiny bit more space on that inside.
More.
Oh, that's lovely from Wilcox. Now Coulson again. Coulson running back through the middle. There's a big gap through the centre. Perhaps needed someone with a little bit more pace than Henry Walker, but he'll do what he can. And then it's out with Williams. Williams trying to straighten. There's an advantage coming to Hartpury. Now it pops up for Ian Grieve. Grieve ships it on for Gilbert. Hartpury, the closest they've come to a try, and Walker knocks it on. He'll come back for the penalty.
Offside.
A couple of good lines from Walker. That second one just put himself under slightly too much pressure as well. Otherwise, I think he would have gone over.
Shot called. I'm not sure who the number was, but we've had an offside.
Fair amount of changes have been made at the same time here by Hartpury. They've put on a few players to up the tempo a bit. Williams is on, Chapman, Grieve, Fluke, Henry Walker as well.
If you need to talk to them, now would be a good time.
The referee has just said to Tom Lauday that he might need to have a word with his team because they've had a few little infringements. Key for Hartpury is to not let these 3 points get away, and they don't. It is drilled through from Williams and narrows the deficit just a bit, and they'll be pleased to do that while they've still got a man in the bin, of course, Tom, mate.
Yeah, definitely. Good few minutes now for Hartpury. Look a real threat when they've got the ball in hand. When they put those phases together and they don't make mistakes, they actually look like a half-decent attacking side. They just let themselves down from time to time.
Restart. Oh, it's bounced all over the place, and then it's been knocked on. Was it knocked on initially by Hartpury? It was.
That was a good bit of backspin, wasn't it?
Yeah, I wasn't entirely sure it was touched, but the referee is closer than we are, so we'll assume that he's got that one right. Oh, yeah, there it was. Just touched by Joe Dancer.
It's almost like there's a lack of concentration straight after those points have been put on the board from both sides.
Yeah, don't crowd the space, please.
You want to make sure you're getting your starter sets right. That kickoff receipt's so important.
If it's an uncontested scrum, they do, but it's not an uncontested scrum.
It's almost another set piece. You work so hard at your scrums and your lineouts. Professional rugby players spend a lot of time working at their kickoff receipts as well.
There's not been an incredibly clear strategy on them from either side. Penalty to Pirates, and a real sense of scrum dominance on that occasion.
Definitely got the nudge there. And it just looks like there's more and more pressure coming through that scrum as well. Cowan Dickey seems to be leading the charge there as well from the middle. He's had a great game.
And there will be some frustration from Cornwell,
Ball's coming your way.
the Hartpury coach. Well, I thought they were going to go for the post there. I think he was conceding 3, having just scored 3, but the Pirates fancy more of this, and that has been drilled right into the corner. Barely an inch to spare to allow the forwards the job to do, and Tom Cowan-Dickey gets into that corner. He wants the ball nice and urgently. Pirates get themselves shaped to do this. A try at this stage would be frustrating and difficult for Hartpury in terms of having to get going again. Hartpury make sure they get themselves on the ground as a road bump, not legally, says the referee, so a penalty is coming. An attempted little chip through, shot to nothing. They'll come back for the penalty. They've got to be careful here, Hartpury. We're coming to the end of one yellow card, but in this area of the field, Matthew O'Grady won't have any problem in dishing out another if they don't defend this legally.
Especially with one forward. Going out to 2 forwards makes it really difficult.
I think this one is a little bit of a
shot to nothing with the advantage. Might as well have a go. Interesting clip I saw on social media this morning of Curtly Beale trying to pack down. That's what happens when you go down in numbers, when you lose your forwards. But Sheldon, who we've seen, is sharp when he's got the ball in hand. There was no one in behind for Cornish Pirates. He would have been away.
Thank you.
7-point game with 10 minutes to go.
Binds. Set.
To the back with Day. Does his back row to keep it in just for a couple of moments. Coronel. Day. Lorde round the corner. Harry Williams. Big hit on the big number 8. Day looks to the left. Option was there from Laverick, but didn't make too many yards. Day has Lorde and Walker. Again to the right. Oh, Cowan Dickey.
Massive carry.
Good carry. George Bolton, though, decent tackle technique. Got round the ankles.
6 off your feet. Just leave it, please. No, don't step over. You can't step over.
Chip over the top from Day. Wilcox. He got a boot to it. He's ended up giving possession to Pirates with that. If you're going to risk it in that environment, well, you've got to be able to get control. Because all he's done is help Pirates out there.
There's him up.
It was just a bit half-hearted, wasn't it, from Wilcox? Either dive and try and catch it, get back to your feet, or just leave it. Caused his side a bit of a problem here.
Just one at the top of the line out from Freeman. Cheeseman helps tidy it up. Pirates still with it. Despite Hartpury having their tails up over the last couple of minutes after the try from Chapman. Hartpury will have to do it all again and rebuild if the Pirates build up ahead of steam here, but in fact it's ended up being a penalty to the visitors. Tackle was made and the Pirates holding on the floor.
11 on his feet.
That'll be infuriating for the Pirates coaching team.
Go quick here now, Hartpury. 8 minutes, there or thereabout, to get themselves a 7-pointer and maybe try and earn a penalty.
And they've got to keep the pressure up on Pirates in their own half. They get this penalty to take them down there. Jump for Pirates is good enough to nick the ball from Rupert Cooper.
Almost like he worked out the call.
Yeah, that was incredible. Maybe he did. Give Cooper every bit of the benefit of the doubt there. Ball not playable.
Your player's lying on top of me.
But it was to ground.
Oh, that'll be frustrating for Hartpury.
About 6.
Set piece is something they're going to have to really work on as they build over these next couple of weeks.
Scoreboard makes no sense to me. You bet. I know.
Scrum's taken a bit of a pasting. It's been torn to pieces at times.
Penalty try being the exemplification of that.
Sorry?
The penalty try being the exemplification of that pressure that they've succumbed to.
You get key set piece like that in this sort of area of the game, you really need to take your chances, and that's where they've let themselves down.
Are you happy to go? Laces done? Time's on.
It's not going to be a day for try bonus points. It could be a day for losing bonuses. Hartpury in touch with one currently. They'll know that with this second half wind, they've got the opportunity for more. But Pirates are just about holding them off currently. I wonder how those of you watching on the England Rugby Facebook page think this one is going to finish, just as we have another momentary pause of the game.
All right. He's still dripping.
It's just watery now, just put some Vass on it.
Oh, I like that. Just give it a wipe, stick some Vass on it. That'll sort it out.
Yeah.
Okay, I need him to be a blood replacement.
Rugby at every level. Hashtag Champ Rugby to keep in touch with us. This is the Hartpury try from Chapman. Chip that came through from Coulson.
Oh, stray leg from May, a bit of a great pickup.
Yeah, that's it, Judging.
Some good pace.
Surged his way into the corner.
Crouch! B! Binds! Set!
Big squeeze. Mike Pope now on for Pirates. They're getting more go forward here. The penalty surely coming any moment. Oh, but then it's come through, came off a boot. Then it's gone forwards. Well, that was a real mess from Pirates because Mike Pope was waiting for the referee to give the penalty. The ball was in, neither front row was coming up, so he was happy to wait. And then on the near side, it was kicked forwards, and then in trying to gather it up, it got knocked on.
Just a lack of control at the back there.
Knock on.
Got to be patient when you're going forward like that. Keep everything in control.
Is that okay?
If it pops out like that,
Okay, time's slow.
don't deserve the penalty. Now an opportunity for Hartpury.
If there's rugby,
they'll be wanting to get it away from this scrum as quickly as possible, won't they?
Okay, let's go, please.
I like that from referee O'Grady. If there's rugby to be played, well then let's play the rugby. I'm not giving you the penalty just because you're getting a bit of dominance up here. You've got the ball. You've got to use it there. And well, they didn't. They were waiting till the last moment to try and get the penalty squeeze out of the referee, and in the end, they lost control.
Crouch!
So,
Binds!
Chapman, the try scorer.
Set!
What can Hartpury do from this position? Oh, it's a really good squeeze from the Pirates. They might get turnover ball here. It has eventually come down, but it's in Pirates' possession. Hartpury lose out on their own scrum. Critical moment for them. Pirates flood the numbers through. They'll keep it in hand for a bit first. Now they come again through Cowan-Dickey. Cheeseman on the run around. Almost back in his old stomping ground of the centre position in midfield, but then Toby May with the carry. Back in from Pope. Cheeseman again. Pope to the right, Lauday. Oh, bounces through the tackle. It's Josh Caulfield. Pope. Walker the dummy runner, now it's Moyle, thinks he might have spotted a bit of room, gets the shout on the shoulder from Laverick. Pope wants quick ball, O'Meara will provide the quick ball and Moyle will finish it. He gets his 8th try of the season and Kyle Moyle might just have sealed the victory for Cornish Pirates with a try inside the last few minutes of the game.
Brilliant from Moyle. As you mentioned in commentary, he's been getting brighter and brighter every time he touched the ball. And every time he has touched the ball, he's contributed.
We're going to restart the game, so this can...
He's got his hands on the ball once or twice there, perhaps. Could have given the ball before he took the ball through contact and offloaded, but got back to his feet and got himself into a position again.
Thanks.
And he's not shy of scoring, is he?
Just the timing of the try that Cornish Pirates needed. It was building. Cargill. Oh, it's just curled around. Not quite enough before it got there. Hartpury restart. Is it going the 10? Just about.
No advantage from being in front.
Coronel comes to get it. Pope looking both ways. Pirates can play a bit of keep ball in the last few minutes here. Hartpury try and hold them up.
That's time.
Tom Duncan. Referee says that's time. Pirates clear the ball, and that will be that. Well, a try that was close to the death, sealing the victory, and crucially for Hartpury, it sends them back up to Gloucester without so much as a losing bonus, which, for all of their endeavour throughout the 80 minutes, you might argue that they deserve. But fair play to Cornish Pirates. They've closed the game out, and the try from Kyle Moyle has proved to be decisive.
Well, when your set piece gets taken to the cleaners like it has done for Hartpury, you can't expect to get too much from games like this, and Cornish Pirates fully deserved that win. When they had their opportunities, they did well.
Just talk us through who you thought stood out. Who'd be your man of the match for that one, Tom?
Well, I think Tom Lauder at 8 has been very good, but this afternoon, in terms of his carrying, his contributions around the field, I think Tom Cowan-Dickey, as we just see him congratulating the other players, he's been my Greene King IPA man of the match. He had a fantastic afternoon, some brilliant carries, and certainly had a big impact on this game.
Score of that first try, of course.
Yeah, that will certainly get on the list of his tries for this season, no doubt. You know, he got himself into great body position. Disappointing as we see the Hartpury players just talking about where they let themselves down. Reece Oakley being very vocal.
Let's have a look at the second half tries then. Couple to enjoy.
Yeah, it was great hands from Luke Eves. And Coulson, I guess a bit jammy there with a bit of a clip off Toby May, but Chapman followed up brilliantly and showed some great pace to show Alex Day a clean pair of heels, because he's no slouch either.
We'd of course had the penalty try that went down a little earlier in the half, and then opportunity popped up for Charlie Chapman.
Really good hands there. That's what Hartpury needed to do more of, wasn't it? That was where they were strong in the game. Needed to get the ball away from those close quarters and try and stretch that Cornish Pirates defence. Didn't really get the opportunities to do it because their set piece just didn't function.
And there was the chance for Moyle to pop up. O'Meara actually was canny enough to make sure that the service got away from the bottom of that breakdown quickly, because Alex Day wasn't there, so O'Meara was able to pop up and make sure that Moyle got over for his 8th try of the season. He'll owe him a beer later for that one.
Yeah, simple, wasn't it? Just draw the last defender.
Cowan-Dickey was in there, potentially hoping for another one himself there, I think.
Yeah.
Let the backs have one, Tom.
You got one, don't get too greedy. It's an important win for Cornish Pirates. It's a fairly indifferent season, but certainly they want to. It's a difficult place to come, as we spoke about pre-game. That'll be a really good win for them. They'll enjoy this evening.
3 tries for the Pirates then, not quite able to get the bonus, but well, the 4 points will do them nicely, being able to move up from 9th position in the table now that all's said and done after round 8. And we have a full time of Cornish Pirates 25, Hartpury College 13. That is how it's finished at the Manet. They'll be pretty happy. We're hoping to get some post-match reaction very shortly as well, once these boys, of course, have had their final words said in the huddle. And there are obviously different competitions that clubs take part in over the course of a season. We know at the top level the Aviva Premiership, and then people step into the Anglo-Welsh Cup. The Championship have the British and Irish Cup to step into, and it's ended up proving useful for Cornish Pirates because, of course, they met Hartpury in the first round of that and got a win against them there, albeit with different personnel, a few younger players in the team. But it's been the springboard for what was 3 wins in a row, now 4 wins in a row for the Pirates, and the chance to just step into another competition and build the confidence back up again has had a very positive effect.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what competition you play in. When you come up against a side, you learn about them. You learn about how they like to try and play the game, what their phase play looks like, how they defend, and that goes back and it builds a bit more of a picture about how you preview them when it comes to the big games like this. It certainly worked out for them well this afternoon.
So I think we may be able to speak to our Greene King IPA Championship man of the match, Tom Cowan-Dickey. And Tom, hopefully you can hear us. A brilliant effort from your side, and obviously you were the first one to get over on the score sheet. We saw you loitering outside for Kyle Moyle's try. You looked like you might have been fancying a second effort. Can you hear us down there, Tom Cowan-Dickey? We're just trying to find out if we can get Tom to hear us down pitch side.
Mic check. Mic check.
Hello, Tom. Tom Cowan-Dickey, can you hear me? Nick Heath in commentary here. Congratulations on your man of the match. Not a decent win for the Pirates.
Yeah, really good win. Sorry, I can hear myself from my ear. Yeah, it's
You'll
really
get
good
used
win.
to it.
You know, all the boys deserve it. We've been working really hard, so yeah, pretty chuffed.
How tough has the start of this season been for you guys down at Cornish Pirates? It's a fairly indifferent start to the season. What does this afternoon mean to you?
We had some big teams in the start of the season, and we pushed them pretty close. All our games were pretty much 2-3 points, and it got us down quite a bit. But we had a focus. Hello.
Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, we had like a 3-game focus after Leeds to push on, and we played really well against Doncaster. Had the week off and just trained hard last week to do it again this week.
You bagged the first try. We saw you loitering outside Kyle Moyle for that second one. Did you fancy your chances at finishing off the afternoon as well as you'd started it?
Yeah, I think he just got a bit nervous because I'm on his tail on the score sheet, so he's just a bit worried that I'm going to catch him up. So.
Are you excited about the next couple of weeks as well? You've got a couple of games that you can potentially kick on from here as well.
Yeah, we've got a really good couple of fixtures coming up, and if we do well, we can pick up a couple of away wins and we can push on through the table, set ourselves up for the rest of the season.
Well, hopefully someone's got the little keg of Greene King IPA Championship beer for you there. It is your award. Thank you very much, and a great competition today. Great effort, and well done on your man of the match nod. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you very much. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
There we go. Tom Cowan-Dickey, a happy man there. And
sorry.
Cornish Pirates. Don't know if you heard a bit of language there from Tom as he worked out how all the technical stuff worked. But yeah, a decent result for the Pirates today. And as you say, they'll kick on with some other big games to come. Yeah,
they got Scottish away and Richmond away. Nice little trip that we'll be doing this evening. But I think certainly from the set pieces in a good place. They can try and put pressure on Scottish and Richmond in those areas, and if they can do that, they've got the players out wide that can expose teams. And I think it's really difficult when you go through bad times as a side to get yourself out of it, but get themselves out of it they have. And now it's time to kick on from that and really get some positive aspects of their game going.
Gavin Cattle, hopefully you're down pitch side and can join us. The second half didn't prove as fruitful for Hartpury into that wind as we suggested it might just at the start of that second half. You must have been pleased to get that result out and get that final try to secure the victory.
Yeah, definitely. There's a few mismanagement issues, especially off kick-off there. But I've got to give Hartpury credit. I thought they were that breakdown area they really targeted and put us under a lot of pressure. But I'm just really happy that we sort of stuck to our guns. And there's a good finish there at the end.
Yeah, certainly was, and the opportunity to have denied Hartpury a losing bonus point, which through large parts of the game it looked like they might be you know, in contention to grab and possibly deserve, but that try from Kyle Moyle at the end, his 8th of the season, certainly took it away from them, and you guys with a real chance to kick on. We were saying in commentary about how the opportunity to have something like the British and Irish Cup can maybe be a distraction for some teams, but it really started bringing victories back to the Pirates, and you've kicked on, and that's now 4 in a row.
Yeah, we've sort of just cracked on irrespective of the competition, really, because just to get this group where we needed to be in terms of development and integrating a few lads. So we've just approached each game as it comes, and like I said, regardless of the competition, we've just been looking purely at performance and developing our game.
Gavin, you've been through some difficult times as a group this season. What have you done specifically from a management perspective to keep the guys upbeat and positive?
I think one thing you have to do is look at the realities of the games you've lost, because I know winning obviously matters and it affects mood and confidence, but you know, a lot of those games we showed some really good fighting spirit. Sorry, I got lost in a bit of interference there, but yeah, so we've just really concentrated on our performance week in, week out, and really honed in on the positives of those losses as well, and we knew things would change if we kept on that same path.
Well, Gavin, we really appreciate your time. Congratulations on the victory today. Well deserved, and we look forward to seeing you guys again very soon.
Oh, thanks very much. Thank you.
Well, Gavin Cattle there. He'll be a happy man. He wasn't too happy at half-time, was he?
No, I would imagine in the change room he had a few choice words to say, and certainly around those kick-off receipts as well. That would have been pretty disappointing. You know, if you want to get to the top of the championship, you have to be really spot on in terms of those detailed aspects of your game. The inaccuracies that he'd spoken about, they kept on rearing their head, didn't they? And they need to get those out of their game if they're to kick on from here. But they seem to have everything in place to be able to do that. It's just the finer details.
Yeah, certainly will be. Tom, thanks very much for your time this afternoon. Hartpury, of course, they'll continue to cause a few teams some problems, of course. They were 30 from 30, as we said earlier, in National League One before they came up, and they're acquitting themselves well in the Greene King IPA Championship. But we've seen Cornish Pirates do what they can do well here at the Menet. The wind is slightly dying down. What a beautiful scene we have in the evening. Don't forget, we've got plenty more coverage coming up for you on the England Rugby Facebook page. The likes of England women against Canada, that Women's International in the Old Mutual Wealth Series on Friday from Allianz Park. Tickets at englandrugby.com/tickets. Then we're into the Greene King IPA Championship once again next Sunday in a week's time. Nottingham against Ealing Trailfinders, then Bedford against Hartpury towards the end of the month, and we dip into those schools and ace competitions at the beginning of December. Great to have had your company from wherever you've been watching around the world on Facebook or on the Championship Rugby website. We'll be back again with coverage very soon. But from Tom May and myself, Nick Heath, it's a very good afternoon.